What's up, everybody? Want to take a moment, kind of just openly talk through something very personal in my life. As you know, or maybe learning now, I'm currently living with stage 3 colorectal cancer. I have an ileostomy bag. Beyond the medical appointments and the physical changes, there's a few layers to it that I don't think are really talked about very often. Um, that I kind of want to break up and talk about a little bit. Biggest one is the emotional side of things. I don't think people really talk as much about the depression and loneliness that you go through. It's strange because you can be surrounded by people who love you unconditionally and are cheering you on, but you still feel utterly alone. Uh, the best way to explain it is kind of like a bubble. There's that constant fear that something's going to go wrong, and you'll hurt the people closest to you. So you start pushing them away. At least for me, that's kind of been how it is, and I hate that. Um, because they're there, they want to help in any ways they possibly can, and I think for me, the mental side of things is like, hey, what if something gets worse? um, I don't want to hurt them in any way or shape or form, and I feel like pushing them away is kind of what will prevent that. And I know that's a silly thing to think, but that's kind of where your brain is. And I get frustrated because I think of how much those people mean to me, uh, and I guess I just get angry. I get these random bursts of anger, just because, like, I don't want to hurt them. And I think we're getting really super vulnerable here. Family and friends, especially like kids. Just the thought of them maybe not having, that father figure in their life, it's terrible. It's not a feeling you want to have. Um, but that sense of isolation can be fueled by constant worry about what the future holds. And for me, that anxiety really peaks around doctor's appointments and things like that. Uh, you go to a doctor, and I've always been one of those people that doesn't like the doctor's office, um, just because always feel like there's something that's going to be wrong, something that's going to come up. But especially now, you feel like every time you go into that doctor's appointment and you go get that blood work, there's going to be a bomb that's going to drop. You're holding your breath, praying that the blood work tests come back okay. And even if they do, there's always that worry in the back of your mind, like, what about the next one? What about the next one? What about the next one? I've seen it time and time again, having gone through this before, where the blood work will come back fine, and people get excited, and then something happens, and they're back at square one again. So it's not a great feeling. The doctor's appointments are rough, and on top of that, we've got chemo, uh, and the things that it does to your body. I know I've talked about it in previous videos, and I know those of you that have known somebody or are living with cancer know, um, it's tough. And for me, in my personal experience with these things, it's even worse with the fatigue. Um, Mostly because the ileostomy has me still uncomfortable. I've had it for a few months now, but I tend to sleep on my back, because the few times that I have slept on my side, I've ended up having a leak in the middle of the night and having to deal with trying to change a bag while it's leaking, and you're half asleep. It's not fun. So I'm not a back sleeper, and that's kind of how I've been sleeping. Granted, I've got some pillows that have kind of helped a little bit, but it's rough. So I toss and turn a lot, and when I finally do fall asleep, usually I'm only asleep for about 4 hours, and then I have to get up and go either empty my bag, or sometimes it fills up with air. So obviously you have gas. Every human how it does, and sometimes those bags tend to fill up with that gas, and if they get too full, I've seen them where they pop and it's a big mess. So I try to avoid that. Usually the bag will wake me up in some way, shape, or form. So I find that I'm taking lots of naps all the time, but I don't get a really like strong period of sleep. So that's been rough. The fatigue has probably been the biggest battle I've had to fight. Obviously nausea's there, but it's not been nearly as bad as back in 2013 when I was going through testicular cancer. That was the worst. I was very, very sick for a very long period of time with that. So I'm super grateful that I haven't had super strong experiences with nausea. But neuropathy has been terrible. I've talked about this time and time again. That feeling of when you fall asleep on your arm and it goes to sleep, and you have like that pins and needle feeling in your hands and your feet, or wherever that body part fell asleep at. It's kind of what the neuropathy is like, and it's gotten gradually worse and worse. It Session 3 was the worst. Session 3, I went in about 20 minutes into my chemo. I started getting that feeling. I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be miserable, but it won't get that bad. I mean, it hasn't been that bad to the point where it's been something I had to bring up with the doctor. That was. So that week, I couldn't even be in a room that was less than 71 degrees without my fingers and toes going numb and feeling that tingling sensation in them constantly. I was always in a blanket with a hoodie on, whatever I was doing to try to keep my body warm. That was the bad. I went in for my doctor's appointment, told the doctor lowered the dosage of my chemo for the 4th session, and that seemed to fix the problem. I still have the neuropathy, but it's not as bad as it was that time. So I'm hoping we follow that trend. Everything looks good. But it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And it's not been good. But those are really the 3 main things I've had to deal with through this, in terms of issues, I guess you could say, with the chemo, and the side effects that come along with it. Guess I hit a button. But anyways, yeah, that's really what I've had to go through in terms of the side effects and everything that goes along with that. The appointments and treatment are obviously part of it, but the constant companion in my life, elephant in the room, my ileostomy bag, is kind of a whole other range of things. So living with it, it's a 24/7 thing. It's not like something that you can just toss off whenever. And I find a lot of people have said, well, doesn't sound that bad, right? I've had a couple friends like, oh, that sounds honestly nice. And it's not terrible. It's grown on me for sure. But it is kind of more of a mental thing. I think with the ileostomy bag, mostly confidence. And there's 2 parts to that. When I think of confidence, right? One is, you have a literal bag of, let's be real here, poop on your body at all times. And it kind of destroys that confidence in yourself. Constantly find myself fidgeting with my shirt, making sure it's covered up. I don't really like to go anywhere with my shirt off. It's just it's a confidence thing. It kind of lowers that confidence in kind of the way you feel about yourself. But also mental thing in terms of really smell, I guess is the biggest thing. I don't feel like I smell, or let me rephrase that. I think that I smell. Other people around me say I definitely don't. But I think it's mostly that you're dealing with it all day long. And so you kind of have that like smell that you just feel like is there. And that kind of destroys your confidence a little bit too. I don't like it. Now, obviously they make bags and things like that help with that. Like I have a beige bag instead of a clear bag. Things that kind of help a little bit, but it's just always there, and it kind of ruins your confidence in yourself. It sucks. Let's be real. It sucks. But if that's the worst part of it, that's okay. If I had to go through all of the pain that I was in through 2023 and 2024, I would gladly take this bag over, and lower my confidence over that pain any day of the week. I would not wish that pain on anybody. So if that's it, right? But the constant management of health also has its effect on other parts of my life, leading to difficulties for me as we get more vulnerable in here. feelings of uselessness. I'm a go-getter. I enjoy work. I enjoy having something to do that keeps my brain occupied. So not being able to work for the last few months has put a huge damper on that for me in a couple different ways, right? Like I said, I love to do things. I love to keep my mind busy. I like to be working on things. It's just who I am. If you've worked with me, you kind of know that. But also just kind of like, obviously bills don't pay themselves. So being humble enough to ask the people around me for help in certain aspects has been super hard for me. Obviously I've had to do it, but it's hard. It's hard for me to humble myself enough to say, hey, I need help, because I've always been that person that does things for myself. I don't like people to do things for me. And so having to have people help, just not even with bills, but with anything, being able to lift things. I can't lift heavy objects right now. I can't do a lot of different things that I do normally all the time. So having that humility and that being humble enough to be able to ask for that help has been hard. I found pleasure in some things, right? I like getting behind the camera again. So streaming on Twitch, making these really terrible vlogs, all of that stuff. It's been fun. It's kept me occupied, and I do enjoy it a lot. It's something I'll continue to do. I'm finding my strides with it, and I think it's good. It's good for me. It's good for my mental. And it helps out with a lot of those things. And I know a lot of this is kind of down, right? But it's not easy to talk about these things, and I think I wanted to kind of bring them to light, just for those people that don't really know the full story, right? I know a lot of you guys think like, okay, they've got cancer, so they're going through these treatments. That you guys know, like, they're going to be nauseous, things like that. I think there's a lot more of an aspect to it that you don't realize, and ways that you can help kind of comfort them and uplift them, and don't take to heart some of the anger that can come out of it, because they're struggling more than to get through all of this. But the biggest thing is, you are going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. You're going to get through this. We're not alone. And we'll be on the other side. And it makes me laugh because for the people that probably work with me that might see this, I did a strength finder test. And I think this is the one thing that gets me through it the most, is I do have a very positive attitude towards everything, no matter what it is. And I think that some people say that's to a fault. I don't think that's a fault. I think that's something that is very beneficial. To see the light at the end of every tunnel, or find another way to spin it into a positive, can make a huge world of difference. If you constantly sit in that state of woe is me, I'm depressed, I'm going through this, it's tough, that's where you're going to be. You're going to be in that mindset. You need to find something that you can spin around on a positive, right? For me, it's been that I've been able to kind of reconnect with friends. I've been able to make some new friends along the way. I've been able to do some things like that through the gaming community. It's been great. And you got to find those little things, even if they're small, even if they are so small, you got to find them, and really rely on those. But you'll get through it. We're all going to get through it. We're going to beat the crap out of this, whatever it is that we're going through, and we'll make it. But share your stories in the comments. If you guys can relate to these kind of things, share your stories. I would love to hear them. I'd love to talk about them, and kind of build a space where we can be honest and support each other through all of it, through all of the things that we're going through. And if you want to see more videos like this, obviously subscribe to the channel. This is new for me, to really kind of get into these vulnerable spots, but I think it's good. I think it's good for everybody. And I would love to talk through more of these things with you guys. So with that being said, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.